This video is going to show you how to create a weekly assignment that you can grade daily. However, this will only put one grade column into your Canvas gradebook, but it will contain the week's worth of points. So the first thing you're going to do is create a Google document. So we're going to go to your Google Drive and click on New, and then you're going to click on Google Doc. I'm going to call this a daily reflection journal entry. Now, because I know that my students are going to complete this daily, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make a table so that I can keep track. So you're going to go Insert, Table. So I have a 2x6 column, and I'm going to put a day, and then I'm going to put this one. And you can either label them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or you can label them however your week is going to run. Once you've done that, you do have the ability to change the size of the columns. And then, of course, the student is just going to click in the box. So now how do you get students to make a copy? So I'm going to click up here so that my document is now titled. And it's going to be, of course, this entry, and I'm going to make this a title, center it, then I will go over to the share, and from here I'm actually going to change the share link to anyone with the link, and then I'm going to click on copy the link. Now the next part of this is going to require you to change the URL so that it forces the student to make a copy. So I'm going to click on Done. And now I'm going to go to Notepad and open Notepad. And in here I'm going to copy this, and now I'm going to delete all of this at the end. It says edit, and I'm going to type the word copy. So this is going to force the student to make a copy of this document. So now I'm going to leave my notepad and I'm going to go to Canvas. Now I'm in Canvas and I'm going to give this an assignment, and remember that I said this is going to be one document for the entire week. So I'm going to call this week 1. Now there are a couple things that you can do here. First of all, we're going to give them instructions that it's going to make a copy, and that they're going to put in each day, they're going to put a journal entry into the single document that is going to be linked in their Google account, and it's also going to be how they submit. Now I've put in the instructions in here, but now I'm going to take and I've titled this Daily Reflection Journal Entry Google Doc, and I'm going to go up here to the link, and I'm going to click External Link, and I will put that copied link that I'm going to get from my notepad. So I'm going to copy this, Control C, go back to Canvas, Control V, click Done. Give it a second. And now you can see that that is a hyperlink. So now I'm going to decide how many points. So I'm going to say that each day is 5 points. So obviously that's 25 points for the whole week if they submit every day. It is going to be an online submission. And because I want them to share with me their Google Doc, I'm only going to choose website URL. So now I'm going to, they can have unlimited attempts, you can put in the due date, all of that good stuff. Now the only other thing that you may want to think about adding is a picture of the document as it's completed once you have a sample. So I'm not going to add that right now, but I might come back and do that after the first week so that the next week everybody would know what was expected of them. So again, I put the week in here, and I also asked them to make the Google Doc, the title, their last name, as well as the week number, because we didn't title that when we made it that way. So I'm going to go down here and I will click on Save and Publish. So now you can see that this is published. Now this is the part that you're going to need to add in order for you to kind of keep track daily. So now I'm going to click on Plus Rubric, and I'm going to title this Week 1 because this is Week 1. And I would put in some criteria, and I'm going to call this, actually this is going to be Monday. And I can type in, and then obviously if they turned it in, it's full points. If they didn't turn it in, it's no points. So I might actually go in here and say, and click update rating, and I might click here and click update rating. And now I just have, basically it's a complete or incomplete. You could always do more ratings if you needed to. I am not going to use the rubric for assignment grading, and I'm also not going to remove the points. So now I'm going to click on Criterion, and I would do the same thing for all, and I can duplicate this, notice, and then I could change it to Tuesday, and I would have to change it in 2 places, and then I could do that again. Once you have all of your week complete, notice that we have our 25 points, which is what we wanted it to be anyway. I'm going to go ahead and click on Create Rubric. So now you have the ability to grade with the rubric. So now we're going to take a look at it from the student point of view. So now we're in student view, and we can see what the students are going to see. So now I'm going to go ahead and click on this link, and notice that it's automatically asking to make a copy. So I'm going to go ahead and click Make a Copy. And again, I asked them in the instructions to put in their last name and then which week they were on. You may want to reiterate that in your instructions on the Google Doc. Now I'm going to go ahead and put in here, and so on and so on and so on and so on. Then the student is going to have to submit that URL. So what they will have to do is go up to share. They can either leave it at Virginia Community Colleges because it's going in Canvas, or they can pick anyone with the link. Doesn't matter. They're going to go ahead and click on copy link. Done. Go back to Canvas. Now as the student, I'm click on this, and then it says website URL, and in here they're going to go ahead and put that link, and then they'll click submit. All right, so now we're going to go back and we're going to look at it from the perspective of how to grade it. If you get to SpeedGrader and you see something that looks like this, just click on the link at the top, and now you'll be able to see the entire student submission. The next thing you're going to want to do is when you go over here to the View Rubric, the first thing you're going to want to do is click on it in order to open it. So now if I go ahead and say that these 3 are complete, and I scroll down and click Save, the student is not going to see anything until I type a number in the box. Now when that student goes to their grade book, they're going to be able to see that they've gotten 15 out of 25, and they'll be able to see that they've completed 3 entries of their journal. And again, if you have this screen, click at the top and you'll be able to see the entire document. And the other thing you need to remember is that students only have to submit this one time. They do not have to keep submitting unless you ask them to. The last thing I want to talk about is commenting. So if you want to be able to comment on the Google Doc, when your students share it with you, make sure that they share. They need to make sure that they choose anyone with this link can edit. Now that means that when you go in, you have the ability to make comments directly on that. Otherwise, you're going to have to use the annotation tool. This is actually the way I would prefer it, is for students to allow me to make comments directly, and I actually could use the commenting tool. If you notice, it shows up right when I hover over here, so then I could add a comment, and then the student would be able to see it, as well as the rubric would be graded and the point value would show up in the grade book. So this was how to share a single Google Doc with students so that it forces a copy, and it allows you to use the rubric for daily grading and have one column in your grade book that you update each day. One thing you do need to keep in mind is if there is only one submission, that this will not show up on your to-do list on your home page. So if you do want that to show up, then you need to make sure that you tell the students that they need to resubmit that URL each day after they have completed their journal entry.